Hello, my name is Elizabeth and I work at the Worcester Art Museum. I'm very happy to be bringing you this week's Art Together online program, Horses and Movement. We are also providing another PDF of the activities, and you'll be able to find that link in the Facebook post, in the description on the YouTube video, and on our new webpage for Art Together programming on our website, which is www.worcesterart.org. This week, we'll also be reading a book, looking at some Wham artworks, and then doing a few activities. So we are going to be reading today Fritz and the Beautiful Horses by Jan Brett. Fritz and the Beautiful Horses, written and illustrated by Jan Brett. Published by the Houghton Mifflin Company. Once there was a walled city known for its beautiful horses. There were magnificent jumpers, splendid chargers, and elegant parade horses. The citizens were so proud of their horses that it was decreed that only the most beautiful would be allowed in the city. All others would have to stay outside. One of these was a pony named Fritz. Fritz was not beautiful. He had a long, tangled mane, whiskers on his muzzle, and short legs. But Fritz was very gentle and kind. He was sure-footed and always willing to work. Day after day, Fritz watched the beautiful horses. Some had braided manes and tails and carried lovely ladies. Others had glossy coats and pulled grand carriages. Most of all, he watched the children's horses. I wonder why the children look so frightened, he thought. The children were afraid. They didn't like their horses prancing and leaping. It made them very difficult to ride. As Fritz watched, he thought, I would like a child to ride me. But no one ever noticed Fritz. One day, he climbed up to the road leading to the walled city. He tried to take long, graceful strides. He pranced and curved his neck. He threw his tail into the air. The citizens stared at Fritz, and then they began to laugh. Look at that silly horse, they said. Then the lovely ladies and the magnificent gentlemen galloped away toward the walled city. The children followed reluctantly behind. I guess I do look silly, thought Fritz, and he hung his head in despair. Fritz listened to the citizens as they galloped their horses faster and faster. He heard their loud cheers as they rode onto the bridge to the walled city. All of a sudden, he heard a loud snap. The bridge was breaking under the weight of the horses' pounding hooves. Fritz saw a large crack appear in the middle of the bridge. The citizens were on one side. The children were on the other. You'll have to cross through the river, cried the citizens. But the children wouldn't move. My horse might shy and buck, said one. My horse might leap and stumble, said another. We might fall off, they all cried together. Stay where you are, shouted the citizens. We will come and get you. But their horses wouldn't move. "This hill is much too steep," thought one horse. "My lovely mane might get tangled in the bushes," thought another. "We certainly don't want to get wet," all the horses agreed. Everyone wondered what to do. Then they noticed Fritz. Fritz carefully climbed to where the children waited. Fritz was not beautiful, but he was gentle and kind. He was sure-footed and always willing to work. The children were not afraid to ride him. One by one, Fritz carried the children carefully down the steep hill. He calmly stepped through the river from rock to rock and up the other side. He finally carried all the children to the walled city. A great cheer went up from the citizens. The lovely ladies cried, "Hurrah for the sure-footed pony!" The gentleman said, "How kind and dependable he is!" And the children exclaimed, "We didn't fall off!" So Fritz was given a special place in the walled city. All the children cared for him and became his friends. From that day on, the walled city was known for its beautiful horses and its very dependable pony. That was Fritz and the Beautiful Horses, written and illustrated by Jan Brett. So some of the things that I like about this story, other than the fact that Fritz finally gets the attention and love that he deserves, is Jan Brett's attention to detail and use of patterns. So patterns is when something repeats. There are number patterns like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. There are sound patterns like which goes low, low, high, low, low, high, low, low, high. And there are also drawn patterns like square, circle, square, circle, square, circle. Well, you can see many different patterns here. We have patterns in the mane that are different spirals next to each other. There are patterns in the girl's skirt. We have white and blue rectangles on a pink background. And there's different patterns on all of the horse's attire. So the saddle blanket here has flowers and stripes. Part of the bridle here has different zigzags. And over here we have a bunch of different medallions all in a row. So what we're going to be doing next is actually looking at 3 Worcester Art Museum pieces of work that all have to do with horses. First, we're going to be looking at the sculpture titled Horse. This ceramic sculpture is from China, from the era of the Tang Dynasty. Now, the Tang Dynasty lasted from 618 to 907 CE. This period was a long time ago, after the height of the ancient Egyptian kingdoms and after the Romans built the Colosseum, but before the Middle Ages and the times that stories such as King Arthur and Robin Hood are set in. Now, this sculpture is a realistic sculpture of a horse. Like Jan Brett in the book we read, this artist also used patterns. The easiest to see here is the pattern used to create the mane of the horse. One thing that is hard to see is that the sculpture actually still has some pigment, which is like paint, left on it from nearly 1,500 years ago. Now, what colors do you think the artist may have used on this sculpture when it was first made? The second piece that we are looking at is a painting named The White Horse by George Wesley Burroughs. This is an oil painting completed in 1922 in the state of New York, nearly 100 years ago. Like the horse sculpture we just looked at, this painting is realistic. The artist is creating an image that reflects real life. Unlike the horse sculpture we just looked at, this painting shows not only the horse, but also a background landscape or setting for the horse. With this setting, we can guess at what the life of the horse may have been like. The last piece we are looking at together today is Horse and Rider by the Italian artist Marino Marini. This piece is also more recent, dating from the 20th century. Like the other pieces, this lithograph, a special type of print, features a horse. Unlike the other two pieces, this is not realistic, but an abstract work. This means that the artwork does not look exactly like its subject matter. Even though this is abstract, can you still see the horse and rider? I hope you have enjoyed looking at these collection pieces together. These and more works can be viewed online through the collection search on the museum's webpage. Short links to these specific works can be found in the PDF for this activity. So for the first activity that has been included in your PDF, I have drawn the outline of a horse. And what I thought would be great, especially for our youngest artists, would be for them to focus on the colors and details that they think a horse would look best wearing. How would you dress up Fritz or a horse if you could? The second art activity is learning to draw a horse. Now, you can gather your materials listed right over here, pause the video, and we'll be back, and I'll teach you how to draw the horse. First, you trace your small circle 2 times with the sides touching. Then, trace a third circle, starting in the center of the circle on the right. Next, you connect the 2 outside circles and erase the middle one. After that, you add 2 triangles coming down from each circle to start the legs, and one going up and to the right for the neck. Then you add a smaller triangle facing right and a little bit down to create the head, and skinny rectangles straight down from the tips of the leg triangles. Smooth the lines of the horse, round the jaw, make the nose of the horse more square, add hooves, ears, draw in the 2 legs on the other side of the horse. All of these things help you finish off making the horse look more realistic. Then, erase the guide circles and triangles, finishing your details in pencils. At this point, you can color it in, paint it, or trace it with ink. Congratulations, you've just drawn yourself a horse. I hope that lesson on drawing a horse was helpful. Now, we're going to get our drawings moving. So, we are going to be creating a phenakistoscope. Phena, kist, a scope is how you say it. Now, these animation wheels were invented in 1832. That's about 190 years ago by 2 people in different places at the same time. So it must have been a perfect idea. They both happened at the same time. So in 1832, Joseph Plateau of Brussels and Simon von Stampler in Berlin came up with this wheel animation idea. Now what this is, it's a circle, and it has almost like pie or pizza slices here. Now each pizza slice has its own drawing, and the drawings change in between the slices. So you can see that they're changing a little bit as I go around and I show you. So each of these pizza slices is like a frame of a film, almost like the photo. And these slits are what allow you to see the image move, because you're going to look through them at a reflection of your image. And how fast it goes is going to be the shutter speed. So I will walk you through how to do this in just a minute. So we have included a template for the phenokistoscope in the PDF. I suggest printing it first on cardstock, white cardstock if you have it. If not, print it out on white copy paper, and you can use any sort of cardboard. Cereal box cardboard works really well for this. Glue it on and then cut it out. With the cardstock, you can just cut it out. Now that you've cut out your template, including the dashes that cut into the disc, you're going to start to draw. Each triangle or pizza section of the disc is a different frame or image of the animation. You are going to start in one frame and draw your image. Then move to the next frame or pizza slice. Draw the same thing again, but change it just a little bit as though it moved. Continue drawing each image a little differently until you've made it all the way around the disc. Then color in your images if you haven't done so yet. So once your drawings, your animation drawings on your phenokistoscope disc are complete, assembly is very easy. You need a pencil, a thumbtack, and your disc. You're going to take your thumbtack, put it right through the center. I like using just the eraser of the pencil. Makes it pretty easy. Make sure not to stab your finger. Now, if I were to just do this and try to look at it, I'm just going to see the wheel going around. That's why we've cut these holes in the desk. We have to peek through them like this to get it to work. So I'm going to take a mirror, and I only have two hands. So I'm going to get this started to spin. And I'm going to use a mirror to see my animation. Try spinning it slowly at first, then spin it faster until you see your drawing move. So, I hope that you have fun with this activity and keep making more. You know, the first one you make will probably be the simplest, and you can get more and more complex. There's a lot of fun examples online that students have made. Often this is sort of an intro to animation. So congratulations, you've made your first movie. Thank you so much for watching this video and doing the activity. I had a lot of fun preparing it for you, and I hope that you enjoyed it as much as I have. If you'd like more information on our collections or to see what else we have to offer, you can visit us online at worcesterart.org. You can find the Worcester Art Museum on social media as well, on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. If you've created a piece of art that you want to share with us, we have hashtags, hashtag #WhamArtTogether and hashtag #WhamArtAtHome, and we would love to see what you've done. That's it for this week, and have a good one.